Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents. Turn down a little bit of volume because I don't like it that much. But since there ain't no woman like the one I got, because she makes me happy when I needs a lot, okay? Because it ain't no woman like the one I got. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gents, we're going to talk about this Emergency Banking Relief Act, or the bankruptcy of the United States. That's what the act evidences. Anybody who says it doesn't, tell them to prove it. That's all you have to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there was this young man. Okay, now, I want y'all to hold on for a second, because I gotta be able to tell y'all where the young man is from, because he sent something and I decided to, don't all y'all be sending me stuff because you just piss me off and I'll never look at it. Sorry, my personality just won't allow it. Okay, it's just the way it is. I thought he was from Holland. He's from Holland. Do you know where Holland is? Where's Holland? Ladies and gentlemen, the young man is from Holland. Yes, across the world. And he decided to look up the banking holiday. And what he did is he looked up the Princeton Daily. Well, let's find out what the Princeton Daily has to do with any of this. This was a copy of the link that he sent me. This is from the Princeton Daily. This talked about how one popular solution was for individuals or private corporations, pay attention, one popular solution was for individuals or private corporations to issue their own script. A for V! Newspapers particularly commonly offered script because they had ready access to printing presses. The Daily Princetonian, number 68, Princeton, New Jersey, March 7, 1933. Pay attention, March 7, 1933, during the banking holiday. Okay, the name, the date, the receipt number, the endorsement paid to the order of the endorsee, 25 cents only. They didn't have without recourse, they need without recourse. And the written out amount is the courtesy, not a box though, this is the courtesy. And the signature, guaranteed by Daily Princetonian when endorsed on back. Okay? You've heard us talking, and ladies and gentlemen, am I saying that this is what you can do for your new money orders? Just the same type of script? The hour style money order, everybody! Hey, don't ask me. How did I know? I didn't know. I'd never seen this before. But when I looked at the A for V, this is what I saw. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't see the check in this right here, if you cannot see the check in this, here is the name of the person over here. Here is the courtesy box for the amount, $25.00. That usually goes here. Here's the date that usually goes here. Here is the name of the bank. Okay. Then here is the pay to the order of line. See, pay to the order of endorsee. So that's your endorsement. Then it says 25 cents only. The dollar amount written out. Then here's the signature line, and pay attention, here's the memo line. There's the memo line. And here is the doing business as authorization. This is your hour style money order. I haven't even read the whole article. When I saw this, I'm like, wait a minute, how did I know? So I'm just going to sit up here and let you all know. Okay, I've never seen this. It's just, like I said, when I saw A for V, this is what I saw. So, that was issued back then. Now, many businesses did not use charge accounts. Given that they dealt with such small transactions, these were the ones most at risk during the bank holiday. So William Sheldon, 34, the business manager of the Daily Princetonian, talked over the problem with economics professor George Malden, or Moldlin, he seldom thought. Anyway, Selden thought the prince could issue script for students to use that could then enter local circulation in Princeton until the banks reopened. Moldlin thought the idea was good and encouraged Selden to make an appointment with Luther P. Elsenhart, Dean of Faculty and then acting president of Princeton University. Elsenhart supported Selden's plan. Immediately, Selden sent a group of freshmen to the local businesses to ask whether they would accept the script issued and backed by the Daily Princeton. If they agreed, Princeton would print their names in the next issue. Meanwhile, Selden designed the script and had it printed. By Tuesday morning, the prince was ready to begin issuing currency to students who would buy it with checks drawn on their closed banks. Interesting, huh? A closed account. Ladies and gentlemen, they're telling you right here they drew it on their closed account. Tell me I'm not reading this correctly. Anyway, on March 7, 1933, the prince announced their offer of script on the front page. John Colt, Princeton's class of 1914 and president of the Princeton Bank and Trust Company, called the move exceedingly patriotic. Students wasted no time in obtaining their 5-cent each limit of the yellowish local currency. See, people, pay attention. The Our Style money order is script. It is currency in the United States. Why? Because it's backed by the credit of your infant account, which is what we were doing when we first started. That's why we had the Social Security number on the item. My girl. Anyway, the prince rapidly issued all 2,000 of its 25-cent certificates in a single day and declined to offer more in spite of demand. The reason why is because they had to keep the value of the scripts up. If they offered 100 billion of them, then their script would have no value. One desperate student attempted to sell stamps back to the post office, but was unsuccessful. What do you mean you don't want them to sell their stamps back to the post office? Prince's banks opened on March 5th, and Prince then set about redeeming their script in circulation with a warning that they would all be void after 30 days. See, they put an expiration date on it. Even so, 15 months later, students contacted the paper and asked that his script be redeemed, and Prince agreed to return his 25 cents. As Selden later remembered it, the prince profited rather than lost money. Why? Well, in businesses of issuing script, the business scrambled to advertise their willingness to accept print script. So they were advertising in the print's paper. So they made money, driving up ad revenue for the paper. Aha! What? It was just obvious. Collectors offered to buy it after it was removed from circulation. Why? Because now it was a collector's item. Some students never redeemed it, preferring, as did Palmer Hutchinson, number 35, because each script had a number, to keep it as a souvenir for their time at Princeton. Okay, there's the endorsement. Well, this is the second endorsement. The first endorsement is the page to the order of. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the article. This is online. Where can I find that? Well, you can find it at... Well, you can't find it here because this is what the person sent me. So I would actually go here, Banking Holiday 1933 at Princeton University. That's where I would go because I'm inside my mailbox, y'all. Y'all can't be inside my mailbox. Y'all got to get out my mailbox. Okay, get out my mailbox. All right, but this is to show you, I told you that the Our Style money orders worked and continue to work. You just have to understand why. Look, I know that it irritates some people that I am just so cocky and I just know what I know, and it doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm an enigma. I don't know anybody like me. if I could only explain to you the new Q pack and the affidavit associated with that. You have no idea. Now, some people are going to try to duplicate the affidavit. The only problem is we're not including everything in the affidavit because I'm tired of people doing that. You see, I got so many people who are taking the ideas of mine. Now, there are probably some people who already had this article or knew about this article and used the hour style money orders to this effect and was able to put the information in, the language in, to the point to where, A, they've had a lot of success. The only problem is they don't want to tell me because they're thinking I'm going to tell you. And they're right. I'm not going to lie about it. I will tell you. The reason why I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is because I can't keep it to myself. You see, with stuff like this, these fools ain't going to let me be about free, letting you guys know this information, because they can't afford it. So, what I have to do, I have to stand on my, whatchamacallits. Yeah, whatchamacallits. Y'all remember the whatchamacallits? Ladies and gentlemen, I have to stand on my documents, on my affidavits, on my contracts. And the reason why I have to stand on my contracts is because, first, contracts have value. That's the first thing and foremost thing you have to remember. So each of my contracts, and there are several, have value. Each of my arbitration awards, because all of the parties defaulted. That's why I told all of you, eventually they're going to start responding according to the terms of the contract, which is not going to allow that contract to be defaulted on until they default on the terms of the agreement. Now, they will default on the terms of the agreement because the agreement requires them to do their job. To do their job. And so since the agreement requires, I'm actually folding up clothes, ladies and gentlemen. I just got my clothes out of the dryer, and boy, were they steaming hot. Don't know why they were so mad. I guess it's because I threw them in the dryer and they didn't want to be thrown. Oh well. Anyway, people, the situation works like this. Now is the time to get your contracts out there because your contracts have value. The Supreme Court said that your contracts have value. As a matter of fact, what did the Supreme Court say? The contracts were backed by the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution, that they are property, and your property cannot be denied you or deprived you without due process of law. Fifth Amendment. You see, that's where you use the Fifth Amendment. They always want to shout the 14th Amendment's due process clause. No, the 15th Amendment came first. So it's grandfathered. Because the 14th Amendment talks about a person not being deprived, but their person is a 14th Amendment wannabe. And the 5th Amendment is a actuality. So the Supreme Court highlights that contracts are protected under the 5th Amendment, not the 14th Amendment. We've already shown you that. So, and we put that document up online. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told that the assignment document isn't online. I looked and it isn't. I just simply forgot. There's just too much going on. So I'll put that up today. But I just want to get this video out, letting you know that this is why the hour style money order continues to work, because they never pulled back the scripting. Okay? You guys really don't know, do you? Okay, let's see if we can do it this way. It's in the contract. Let's pull up the infant estate. This is the new one, but that's only the beginning of the information. We showed you guys that yesterday for the new affidavit. Alright, hold on 1 second. We need to open. Where you at, infant? Oh, there you are, right there. See, infant estate. Oh, come on, infant. Now, while we got the infant coming up, just look at this as a check, because that's all this was. They called it a script. So, ladies and gentlemen, is it going to hurt you to call yours a script? You see me calling mine a coupon. Okay? Now, let's do this. This is the infinite state document. What we're looking for is the language from the March 9th, 1933 Act. It's in here. I just got to find it. So give me 1 second. Oh, wait. I know what to do. Replace. S-C-R-I-P-T. Script. Find next. Nope, that's not the script I'm looking for, Chief. That's not the script. That's not the script. Nope, still subscription. Give me a second. Y'all heard it through the grapevine too? Man, I heard it through the grapevine, and I was wondering how you knew. Uh-oh, it didn't take me to script. Find next. It didn't take me to script. Okay, hold on, let me show y'all something. Specifically employed the use of printed publication, United States Code. Nope, that ain't the script. I put the proclamations there, but that ain't the script part. But I know it's in this document because I just saw it yesterday. Alright, I'm gonna have to put y'all on pause because I know exactly where it is. Y'all know me. I don't let nothing go. I just don't know where it is because it's supposed to be right here. Let's see. Yeah, I have to put y'all on pause to find it. It's in another document and I know exactly what document it is, but I thought it was for show. I'm gonna say it again. For show in here. Like my aunt used to say, for true. So I thought it was for show in here. You know, let's go ahead and pause y'all and get to the right document. Second, see, that didn't take long. This is actually in the contract. I just haven't trimmed it down yet. This is not finished yet. Pay attention. It says, and take further notice that I, the undersigns, gotta correct that. Anyway, of the age of majority, reserve my right to sue you and all your agency and contractors administratively or otherwise for the use of my name or my property. The undersigns of the age of majority, the undersigned foundation, that as a direct result of Executive Order 2039 and 2040 and the Emergency Banking Relief Act of March 9, 1933 and the Gold Repeal Act of June 5th and 6th of 1933, that my use of any emergency script supposed to be is only because I have not been given my correct allowance and have no access to lawful monies, and I do hereby accept and declare my own state of emergency, and it's supposed to be with respects my financials, my infant estate, my interests commercially. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, now look, in accordance with the emergency the Emancipation Proclamation, we're not going to be using that. Okay, we're going to be getting rid of that part. Just want to let y'all know. We used that before. That was in one of our other instruments, but we don't need that no more. So we need to find script again. Okay, this is the part that you need to pay attention to. During this banking holiday, it was first believed, this is President Roosevelt writing, that some form of script or emergency currency would be necessary to conduct ordinary business. We knew that it would be essential when the banks reopened to have an adequate supply of currency to meet all possible demands. On March 7th, 1933, the Secretary of the Treasury issued a regulation authorizing clearinghouses to issue demand certificates. Ladies and gentlemen, do your research on demand certificates. Okay? Just no. See, some of you guys you're not gonna know how to look this up. So watch this, because you're gonna look it up differently because you're gonna think the way you think, and you can't think the way you think. So watch this. We're gonna go all the way down here to Bubba. man, you stupid. Okay, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, do you see what I did? Clearinghouse demand certificates. TikTok. Interesting, ain't it? Now, how could I possibly have known that this is what it was going to be called? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to do the full video here. You're going to do your research. Let me pay attention, because you got to watch what I do, because you can't think for yourself, and that's irritating. Now, you see how this one says cashier's check? You don't want to do a cashier's check. Do you want to do your hour style money order like this? I don't care. Okay, but do not put the word check on it. You can put cashier's script. There you, oh my God, did you hear what he just told us we can do? No, I'm not telling you can do that. Hold on, let me show you who's telling you can do this. It says the Treasury issued a regulation. So find out what regulation. On March 7th, the Secretary of the Treasury issued a regulation. Hold on, watch this. Copy. I know. And watch how everybody's going to be talking about this now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am an enigma. You can hate me, you can dislike me, you can not like me, I don't care. I just know what I know. I don't think like no one else. I just know what I know. And this all came from one person deciding to take the time. Congressmen didn't even have individual copies of the bill. That's what the person talking about, but we don't care about that. Let's see. More electronic money initiates Bureau Engraving and Printing, Washington. This is a later one. I'm looking for 1933. Let's do this one. Against sound assets of banking institution by this authority was not to become effective until March 10th. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to click on this one because these two are reporting the same. Oh, the USA Republic. No. We're going to go back to the USA Republic, because the reason why we're going to go back to the USA Republic is because these individuals have been reporting on this for quite some time. Okay, they're the ones who have on their site, you just go to / you see emergency powers, and then you go right here, I believe it's chapter 8, or you just go to emergency powers, or you go to their main site and just do a search on the site for chapter 8, and you'll have the Emergency Banking Relief Act. Now let's pull this up so you guys can understand what's going on, because we're looking for the emergency script. Okay? Oh, National Emergency, Black's Law Dictionary. Look at that. Black's Law Dictionary has a definition for a national emergency. It says a state of national crisis, a situation demanding immediate and extraordinary national or federal action. Congress has made little or no distinction between a state of national emergency and a state of war. Look at that. The court actually said that. That's the court giving that definition, not the Black's Law giving the definition. The court gave that definition, y'all. Okay. This report begins with a series of documents which are represented, Exhibit 1 through 7, of the documents contained in this report. We will be quoting from many cases reporting on Senate and Congressional records. Ladies and gentlemen, here's where you're going to start your research. Okay? Now, we are looking for Senate report, not Senate report, but Treasury. Let's do the Clearinghouse certificates. So let's do Control F, and we're gonna do V, Control V. That's our pasting. Now watch this. This is where the report is. So it says, by this statute, everyone was required to turn in their gold. Failure to do so will result in fines and imprisonment. That's what they're talking about. Roosevelt could now issue emergency currency under the Act of March 9, 1933, which they did. It was to be called Federal Reserve banknotes. You notice we don't have any Federal Reserve banknotes. that this currency was to be called Federal Reserve banknotes from Title IV of the March 9, 1933 Act upon deposit with the Treasury of the United States, A, of any direct obligation of the United States and their notes. This is the actual proclamation that says this. And the Congress just took the proclamation and made it into law. That's what people don't know. It goes on to say, or of my notes, it's supposed to be of any notes, drafts, bills of exchange, and banker's acceptance. What is a note? If you go to the bank and sign a note on your home, that's a note, isn't it? A note is a private obligation upon we, the people. I don't want to do that. I would say it's upon the estate. And if the Federal Reserve Bank deposits either a public and or private obligation with the Treasury, the Comptroller of the Treasury will issue this circulating note endorsed in blank, duly registered and countersigned, an emergency currency based on public and or private obligations of the people of the United States. In other words, it is a government obligations. This is section number 4. Okay, in the Congressional record, we find evidence that our congressmen didn't even have individual copies of the bills that were read on which they were to vote. A copy of the bill was passed around for approximately 40 minutes. Okay, they didn't get a copy of the bill. It was just, hey, this thing was all written in advance. The Speaker, I regret that the membership of the House has not had an opportunity to consider and or read this bill. The first opportunity I had to know of what this legislation is was when it was read from the clerk's desk. It is an important banking bill, bankruptcy. It is a dictatorship over finance in the United States. It is complete control over the banking system in the United States. It is difficult under the circumstances to discuss this bill. The first section of the bill, as I grasp it, is particularly the war powers that were given back in 1917. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was under provisions of protecting the government, protecting the nation from invasions and harm from without. So let's get this. I would like to ask the chairman of the committee if this is a plan to change the holiday of the security backed by the holding of the security backed by the Federal Reserve note to the Treasury of the United States rather than to the Federal Reserve agent. Keep in mind here that prior to 1933, the Federal Reserve Bank held our gold as security in return for Federal Reserve gold notes, which we could redeem at any time we wanted. Now, however, Congressman McFadden, the good guy, was asking if this proposed bill was a plan to change who's going to hold the security from the Federal Reserve to the Treasury. The Chairman Steagall, the Glass-Steagall Act, response to Congressman McFadden, whom they didn't like because he wanted to go after them bankers. Again, from the Congressional record, this provision is for the issuance of Federal Reserve bank notes, not Federal Reserve notes, and not for Federal Reserve notes. And the security backed of it is the obligations, notes, draft, bills of exchange, bills of acceptance, banker's acceptance, outlined in the section to which the gentleman has referred. Excuse me? So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the Congressional notes. So, what we want is the Treasury legislation. Where is it at? You see, on March 7th, the Secretary of the Treasury issued a regulation authorizing clearinghouses to issue demand certificates. On March 7th, where's that regulation? So, if you all can send me a copy of that regulation, because that's the point. But let's get back to this so that you guys will understand. This is a copy of the emergency script. Oh, you are all banking institutions. If they can issue emergency script, so can you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Where can I find what you just got to go back and do the same search. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody was issuing emergency scripts. These are money orders. Go and look at them. They are money orders. They are not checks. Let's enlarge them because I need to see what they say. Uh-oh, we can't enlarge this one. We can enlarge it by making it on another screen. We gonna screen? I'm a screen! Like Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson. I'm gonna screen. I want to see what this says right here. Fort Collins Clearinghouse certificate. But before you call yours Clearinghouse certificate, and I gotta warn you, because some of you people are just gonna want to just copy and copy and copy. So before you call your junk Clearinghouse certificates, you gotta go back and read the regulation. And remember, they've been updated regulations. That's why you don't see too many Clearinghouse certificates. However, the Act does permit and allow for Clearinghouse certificates. That's why there were so many at that time. Okay? So you need to, and does this one say certificate registered with the Pensacola Clearinghouse? We all know that they're clearinghouses. Look at what they did. They just took that information out. What that say originally? I want to see what that said. I don't care what that said. It's no, we can't enlarge that too much because it ain't gonna let us. Let's go back to. Do you see? Look at this one. This one is so generic, it's pathetic. But again, it has all of the factors that a check needs. It has the written out amount. It has the numeric amount. It has the name of the company. It has the check number. It has the signature. And it has the endorsement. Okay? This is indebted to the debtor in the sum of $5. Now, what I want to do, oh, look at this. This thing says do not endorse. Interesting. Well, do I want to do a certificate of indebtedness? Oh, no. Okay, I want to do this one here. Pay to the bearer. It's called a bearer certificate. You can't do no bearer certificate. Not allowed since 1984. Pay attention. Can't do this one. Don't play games. Y'all gonna get in trouble. You see, many of you gonna want to just try things just to be trying. You gotta go look at the regulations, people. It would be irresponsible for me to tell you that it would be okay for you just to go out there and do whatever you want to do, but you cannot. You must understand you cannot. You're gonna have to do some research. No, that's not my job. I'm not gonna sit up here and explain to you all the different regulations and the things that says no, you can't do that. Why? Because that would promote greed. I am not greedy. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to be associated with greed. Your mama can be greedy. Your daddy can be greedy. Your grandfather can be greedy. But I ain't gonna be greedy. Okay? San Diego Clearinghouse certificate. Now, what gives us the right to now go and do research on clearinghouse certificates? Ladies and gentlemen, what gives us the right is this simple fact that the Supreme Court has said that the Banking Act is still extant. 1973, Congress said that the Banking Act is still extant, meaning we're still in the emergency. So that means that since March 6, 1933 till present, we've been in a national emergency. It's still extant. We've talked about that before. So these are, I skipped one. It looked like it might have been impotent. Okay, here are your emergency scripts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are going to want to try to duplicate this exact thing. Shame on you. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Do your research first. Look at the regulation that permitted and or allowed this. Because if you don't do your research, you're going to be trapped and stuck and you're going to get your butt kicked. Okay, they're going to put their foot so squarely off in your anus that you're going to be sitting up there talking about, but I didn't know. And they're going to be like, that's right. This is the price you pay for not knowing. Should have did your research. So give me 1 second. Got to do that F thing again. Nope, only one time it has demand certificates. Okay, so what I do is this right here. You'll see. Copy. it one time. Okay, gold certificate, demand certificate. Clearinghouse is to issue demand certificates. Clearinghouse certificates. So it's in the act. It says it several times, but that's the 4 times you see certificate is the issuance of gold certificates. But notice, and I want you to pay attention. This is the important part. Certificate, demand certificate, these certificates. It mentions certificates 3 times in the actual act in one paragraph. This lets you know that certificates were impotent. That's right, they were impotent. Okay, so you got to do your research, people. But as you see, we were already on this for quite some time. Okay, this is what the president said, that every provision contained in or made with respects to any obligation which purports to give, this is the Gold Repeal Act, which purports to give the obligee a right to require payment in gold or a particular kind of coin or currency. We told you that's what, don't worry about the gold, worry about the particular kind of coin or currency. Okay, emergency script is currency. And as amount is supposed to be, and I don't know why the act says this, it's supposed to be an amount of money of the United States measured thereby is declared to be against public policy, and no provision shall be contained in or made with respects to any obligation hereafter incurred. The Gold Repeal Act. Okay? The new currency was supported by Federal Reserve banknotes. The notes were backed by direct obligation of the United States Treasury. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have here today in circulation emergency script known as Federal Reserve notes. Those are emergency script. You didn't know? Well, now you know. And that's half the battle, everyone. That is half the battle. Alright, now look, I gotta go because Cokes and smiles is how I get through my day. So, y'all take care of yourselves. And hey, understand, I know way too much to be allowed to be doing everything that I do. So that's why we're putting the information out there for you, because unlike the people who came before me, who kept it to themselves, who are no longer here, follow me, that won't be the case here. You'll have enough information to have an impact. You see, this is my security. I just tell you everything. Because now I don't have to take it with me. But the idea here is, oh no, I trust the God I serve. You guys really must understand that. Don't misunderstand me. I trust the God that I serve. Love him with all my heart, mind, soul, body, and strength. Love him to death and to life. Okay? So, I am not concerned about them. But as I told you, before you start doing emergency script, not emergency script, clearinghouse certificates. Anybody can do an emergency script. We're still in the, I'm sorry, let's do this. We're going to do one more thing in the contract. What we say we're going to do. Okay. I want you to pay attention to what's written here. And 2 by President Nixon were still extant. This is talking about with one pertinent, important, specific exception. It terminated all powers and authorities passed by the president, any other officer or employee of the federal government, or any executive agency as a result of the existence of any declaration of a national emergency. This was the National Emergencies Act, public congressional record, in effect as of September 14, 1976. The Senate Special Committee had found that not only was President Roosevelt's 1933 proclamation of a national emergency were still extant. We don't need to talk about Truman and Nixon. He says that the proclamation of a national emergency was still extant. What does extant mean? It is a legalese word. It means still in existence, still active, still binding, still alive. It means that it hasn't been repealed. This was the 1976 Senate stating a fact that the declaration issued by President Roosevelt in 1933 respecting a national emergency script, was still in effect. Imagine that we are still in a national emergency after all those years. Ha! Government do anything right? Government do anything right? They just do whatever they do. They do what they do. Ladies and gentlemen, the Senate said we're still in a national emergency. That's where you go. That's how you move forward. Emergency script. Okay? Emergency script. Emergency script. Pay attention. Gotta go, y'all. Goodbye. Adios. Sayonara.